YouTube, what it do is your guy CJ back with another video, back with another episode of the CJ Wilkins YouTube channel. Today, guys, I want to have a conversation about the importance of knowing when to move on, knowing the importance of knowing, when the proverbial writing is on the wall, knowing when it's time to cut anchor, cut bait, right? Because I think it's very important for people to know when it's time to let go of things, people, places, and etc. that no longer serves them. Chris, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Every once in a while. Now, I'm not telling you guys to run after every altercation or run after every, negative moment or run after every disagreement, you have with people. But in every relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, whether it's like family sometimes even, right? There comes a time in every relationship to where the strength of that bond and that relationship is going to be tested. There comes a time to where by proxy of that, it comes a time to where relationships come to an end. There comes a time to where you may have to cut ties or sever, relationships with people and things like that, right? But long before the actual filing of the divorce, long before the falling out, so to speak, you have with friends or you may have with colleagues you may be cool with, or family even. I keep saying family even because some people think it's impossible to have those issues with family, but you would be very surprised. But all in all, if you are someone who's aware, like situationally aware, right? In every situation, there was always a moment to where there was a straw that broke the camel's back. There was a pivotal moment to where y'all went from being on the same page to not being on the same page. And in most instances, it can be so subtle and so unintentionally done that if you're not a person who's aware or a person who is the most astute when it comes to realizing like human dynamics and like interpersonal like situations, it'll fly right over your head, bro. You won't even get it. There was a moment to where when y'all were connected and y'all became unconnected, you were no longer on the same page. And what you have to do in those type of moments, I believe, is that you have to find a way to rectify it or correct it, right? Not saying you got to go apologize or go say I'm sorry or go say, not from a position of like, it's somebody's fault even, right? Because it's not always like somebody's fault as to why some people fall out or they disconnect. Sometimes you just simply outgrow people. Sometimes relationships will just run their course, Sometimes the people that you're friends with at 18, 19, and 20, sometimes it doesn't make sense for you to be friends with those people at 30, 40, and 50. Not because they're bad people or not because, they said something out of the way to you or they disrespected you always, right? That's not always the case. Sometimes y'all just outgrow each other. Like I'm going east, they're going west, I'm going north, they're going south or whatever. But there was a moment to where we were no longer on the same page. And if you love someone, if you care about a situation, if you care about a place that you are, you have to catch it, right? You have to catch it, And this goes to a plethora of different type of like relationships, to all my parents, especially parents of like smaller children. I have a 5-year-old son, And I talk about this all the time, like jokingly, but this goes for like, even like parental relationships too with your kids. You let your child get away with murder one time, and not like literal murder. I don't want anyone to think, it's a Chucky running around here, but you let your kids get away with bad behavior a few times, one time honestly, but a couple of times, then it becomes normalized. It becomes a practice behavior that, hey, I can get away with doing, poor behavior. I can get away with being bad. I can get away with, doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And once it's normalized and you allow it, you don't check it right when it happens. Now you're dealing with a bigger problem because you're creating a monster, right? You're in a relationship or you're married and you allow your spouse or your significant other to, utilize bad behavior, poor practices for what y'all are trying to build, for where y'all trying to go, for what y'all trying to do. If you don't check the first sign of that disengagement or that disconnection, I'm not going to say disengagement, but that disconnection, you got to catch it right when it happens. Because if you don't catch it right when it happens, what'll happen is it'll create a snowball effect, And anyone who knows what a snowball effect is, it starts off kind of small, but as it goes downhill, it becomes larger and larger and larger. So large, in fact, that at some point, it's really too much to deal with. It's really too much to try to stop, So this is super important, man, and I really want you guys and girls, I don't want y'all to think I just make content for men, this for everybody, but I just kind of say guys as like a formality. But understand, man, like every relationship, every friendship, every business, even like if some of y'all on jobs you absolutely hate, but there was a moment to when you became disconnected with the job or like with your career, and instead of figuring out what is it about this job or this career or this industry that I no longer like, or what do I have a problem with on this job to where I feel a sense of emptiness when I go to work, or like when I go into the office, it's a drag to get there, right? There was a moment when you was crazy about that job, when you were excited about that job, or there was a time when that job actually resonated like something within you, right? But now you're the complete opposite. Well, you're the complete opposite because there was a moment, there was a switch that took place, and maybe you don't even remember it. Because I could tell you, man, like there's been times in my life where I had, gone through like a switch in a relationship, or a friendship even, or things like that, or like on a job especially. Like it's most common on a job because like jobs are the most monotonous things you do, right? But there have been times where I'll wake up one day and I'm like, man, I really don't fuck with this anymore. I really don't like what I do. I'm not a fan of this person. And it won't be just a one-time thing, because you're not going, in the most perfect relationship or marriage, you're not going to be crazy about your person every day. Like, that's not even realistic. But when it's a consistent thing where, like, you're miserable and you loathe the idea of having to face today, and you wake up and it's hard for you to get out of bed because you're so depressed, you're so mentally drained, you're so stressed for just from the anxiety you're gonna deal with, that relationship is dead, bro. That partnership, that whatever you dealing with, bro, it's dead, bro. You can try to revive it, you can try to speak some life into it, but that's not what this episode is about. This video is about anytime when you come to a realization, or you come to a point in your life where you realize we not rocking the same way we used to rock, or like this don't touch me the way that it used to touch me, or I realize this friendship that we had, or this relationship that we had, is not what it used to be, and you have no desire to get it back. You got to realize that there was a moment. You may not know when the day was, you may not know But if you think long and hard enough about it, you can always call back to a moment or a scenario or a situation to where something happened, something took place, and y'all weren't really that bad off. Y'all might have had a rough day, but if something were caught right when that happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, you may not be in the situation that you're in right now. You know what I'm saying? So just think about that. Like, give that some thought. Like, think about some of y'all that been cool with people, and then, like, you know, y'all kind of have a beef or something, right? But you may not know what the beef is over if it's been a long time. But there was a moment in space to where something happened. Maybe they made a joke that you didn't like. Maybe you felt disrespected by a situation, or maybe, I know in a lot of my instances, I've had to cut friends off simply because the way I was moving, the way I was trying to progress, and like the direction that I was trying to go in, I try to take them with me, and they just really weren't cut out for that. Like, they weren't built for the prosperity, for the success, for the ambition I had, and like the direction that I was going. If you're not a propeller and pulling me up, you're an anchor and you're weighing me down. So if you're an anchor and you're weighing me down, bro, you can't go where I'm going. I'm not even gonna try to take you with me because I know in the process you're gonna pull me down. And for whatever the reason is, like, I don't give a shit about the reason. I don't care why you're pulling me down. I don't care if it's unintentional and it's just your nature, and you know, you didn't really come from a lot, so you don't know how to deal with success, or I don't care about none of that. I don't care if you a hater. I don't care if you low-key jealous. I don't care if you like intimidated by. I don't care about none of that, bro. If you're not on my team, you're an opponent. You're an op. And if you're an op, you cannot be around me. You cannot be in my cipher. You can't be involved with nothing I got going on. So it hurt like hell, you know. Nobody wants to cut their people off, but sometimes you gotta cut people off, bro. I got a video that I just uploaded, bro. It's called You're the CEO of your life, and it talks about the chopping block theory. Be sure to go watch that video. If you're a woman watching it and you get sensitive about certain, like, you know, topics about men, fast forward to maybe like 5-6 minutes in, but the overall concept is geared towards everybody, men and women. And you know, the chopping block theory is like, you got to be willing to put anyone and anything on the chopping block if it pertains to holding you back from being the best version of yourself. If you're trying to be great, you got to realize people in life are either like propellers, and they're gonna like raise you up, or they're gonna be anchors and pull you down. Any person, place, thing, or situation or environment that's not propelling you to be the best you, is not pushing you up, it's pulling you down. And if they're pulling you down, you can't have them around. It's your boy CJ. That's all I got. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I got a lot more content on the way. Thank y'all so much for the support, and I'm out. Peace.